Now, one of the cool things about this new Pastel Revolution spray from Clairefontaine is that you can make the papers, the Pastelmat papers, darker. So that's what I'm going to show, so make sure you got it the right direction. I've got the anthracite just held flat on my board with some magnetic pieces on the corners, and you can see I'm quite liberally giving it a good old spray over it, and you can see it's gone substantially darker. Sometimes you want it, I want a darker paper, and the anthracite is really a dark grey rather than a black. Now you should be doing this really in a ventilated room. The spray actually smells quite nice, it's like a hairspray, but it is a solvent. I'm putting a lot down to see the effect that it actually has on the paper. So do it in a ventilated room. Obviously the solvent is evaporating off of there. Now I'm going to speed that up using just a regular hairdryer on a medium heat setting, and that's just speeding up that burning off or evaporation of that solvent. Okay, so I'll just continue doing that for a couple of minutes. Alternatively, you could just let it stand. You don't want to touch the paper once you've really sprayed a lot of that solvent on there, because the surface of the paper could actually rub off if you rubbed it at that point. Okay, so don't go touching the surface of the paper while it's drying. Now it's my first time doing this on the paper. I could see it was slightly patchy, so I thought I'd give it another good spray to see if those little patchy marks actually went. I'm not too concerned because I'm going to go over the paper with pastel anyway. It was only really to actually see how much it darkened, and I'm going to do further experiments on some other dark papers, so the dark brown especially, one of my favorites, and the dark grey, to see how much darker they grow too. So once again, just giving it another dry off with a hairdryer. Okay, so that's that second coat fully dry. Now you can see it's still slightly patchy in places, so keep that in mind as well. You should be doing your own tests on it. The surface feels the same to the touch, maybe very slightly rougher if anything, but let me show you the difference in colour. So that's the anthracite as you would find it in a pad, and you can see it's much darker. So as I mentioned, some artists out there might find that quite interesting. We can now darken the papers if you need to. So I went on and used this sprayed paper to draw this gorilla, this pastel gorilla. The paper worked perfectly well, just as per normal. The surface took multiple layers, just as it always does. And just for you all to be aware, Clairefontaine did send me a sample of this spray to try out to show you guys how it works on YouTube. Just wanted to quickly mention my Patreon channel for those looking for even more in-depth art instruction. It's packed full of pastel videos, oil videos as well, and those videos are being added to new ones every single month. I have videos for the complete beginner that have never done pastels or oils before with just limited supplies, and I take you from the very first blocking in all the way through to the final detailed drawings and paintings. I've also got some really unusual subjects as well, and in all of my videos I always take you through all the details. You see everything I do, how I create my work. But it's not just for beginners, it's also for novices, and I also show the best artwork that I've ever done as well. And this particular elephant video spans 6 hours, so you know you're going to see tons and tons of details, tips and techniques. And as mentioned, I've got lots of oil videos on there too, so there really is something for everybody, and you get access to hundreds of hours worth of videos for just $4. Now over 1,000 members strong. Hope to see you there soon.